We continue our Inside the Beltway series tonight. My colleague Brett Baer goes underground to show you a part of the Capitol you probably never even knew exists.
We thought we'd continue our special report tours of Washington with a different look of Capitol Hill. You're probably very familiar of this view of the Capitol. This is from a place called the Senate Swamp. It's a press area. Very familiar view of the Capitol Dome from the outside. But what you don't see from here are the catacombs of tunnels underneath. Okay, we're underground now at the Hart Senate Office Building. Ditched the coat, and we've found senior Capitol Hill producer Chad Pergram. Chad, elaborate system of tunnels here under the Capitol. Usually people don't see all of this, but this is your life.
Yeah.
You work these tunnels.
There is an absolute rabbit warren of tunnels that goes through here. In fact, you can walk from the basement of the Hart Building, where we are now, all the way underground, through the Russell Senate Office Building, through the Capitol, snaking through almost where the kitchens are and things, go over to the House side of the Capitol, cut through the House office buildings, and wind up in the furthest point on Capitol Hill, which is the Rayburn House office building.
Let's take a stroll.
That's almost 3/4 of a mile.
So this is some of the behind the scenes, the kitchen stuff.
Right, and again, this is a major area of access between the House and the Senate side, cutting right past the meat lockers in the kitchen here.
All right, so it winds around here, and we're pretty deep, right?
Yeah, you're a couple levels underneath the Capitol itself, and you can see here when they built the Capitol Visitor Center, where visitors come through, this shows all the layers of sediment and rock and everything they had to build, had to cut through. And this goes even deeper, Brett, as you get out into the Visitor Center. It goes down a couple, 2-3 stories, much lower than what we are even right now.
Okay, so we kind of went all over the place, but we're down here, is that right?
Yes, we're right here, and this is the mouth of the Cannon Tunnel.
This looks like it was going to be a subway.
Yeah, one of the original things that they were going to do was build a subway through here. This is one of the few tunnels that doesn't actually have a subway line. As you can see over here to the left, this is where pedestrians were to walk, but they've never built a line here, and this is the way most people walk. This is where members come when the bells ring to signal votes in the House. A lot of aides go back and forth here. It's always funny. You can always tell when there's a big leadership meeting over in the Capitol, because all you have to do as a reporter is stand down here in the tunnels, and you'll see this swath of people coming, and you know something big is going down.
It's a good place to position. And then the paintings on the wall?
These are paintings from the Congressional Art Competition, which each district has a couple of winners. They rotate these through 2 or 3 times a year. And these are done by high school students, and the congressional staff often votes as to who are the winners.
So each state from each district?
Each state and each district.
Wow. Pretty cool. All right, so we're at kind of a crossroads here. We just came from the U.S. Capitol. But this is the Cannon office building here.
Right, exactly. You know, you go up 2 floors here. This is the basement of the Cannon Rotunda. A lot of times you see reporters doing live shots from upstairs. That's 2 floors above us on the 3rd floor here. But this is the basement. These are the tunnels here that connect all of the underground parts of the Cannon building. Go over to Longworth, go over to Rayburn, and there's even a tunnel this direction that'll take you over to the Library of Congress.
This way?
This way.
Let's go. This is the construction of Cannon.
This is the original part of the buildings. They were building the Cannon House office building, and you can see where they had the mouth of the tunnel right here that goes all the way to the Capitol. This is in 1908. This was originally just called the House Office Building because it was the only House office building. But again, even more than 100 years ago, they were already using these tunnels to get back and forth to the Capitol.
This connects with the Library of Congress.
Right, exactly. Originally, the Library of Congress was in the Capitol. In fact, it's the same set of offices that's now used by Mitch McConnell, the minority leader. That was the Library of Congress. They said, well, you know, we're going to have a Congress, we'll have a library, we'll throw some books in there, people can go back and read. We think about how much the Library of Congress has grown in 200 plus years. There are 3 buildings over there. This connects you to one of the newer buildings. There's also another set of tunnels that goes directly to the Madison building from the Capitol Visitor Center. So there's 2 tunnels underground that connect the Capitol complex with the Library of Congress.
So now we're in Cannon, and you connect to, next is Longworth.
Longworth. All the House office buildings are named after speakers of the House. Joe Cannon, Nick Longworth from Ohio. Only 2 Ohioans have been Speaker of the House, John Boehner, the current Speaker, and Nick Longworth, and then Sam Rayburn, which is the biggest building and the newest one. Some of the buildings, or some of the offices, I should say, in Rayburn are quite commodious. And again, you're going to go down through this tunnel. This gets down pretty low and also takes you past the parking garage where a lot of the staffers park their cars.
I don't think Speaker Boehner is expecting a building
No, well, the house would have to grow a lot, and we'd have to get another one, so we'll see.
All right, let's go.
We're going down 2 levels of escalators here because we're going down Capitol Hill. You know, up where we were at Cannon, that was the top of Capitol Hill, and Longworth a little bit lower if you go down Independence Avenue, and then Rayburn sits a little bit lower yet.
Okay, this is sub-basement, but we are finally kind of at the end of the line here at Rayburn.
Yeah, this is
seeing the outside.
Yeah, because again, you've come down Capitol Hill, and so you're at a lower level where outside is. And this is an emergency exit, but you go out this way, you can go over to the Botanical Garden, go over to the Department of Health and Human Services, the Voice of America. But this is sort of when I talked about 3/4 mile from one edge of the Hart Building to one edge of the Rayburn Building. This is the end of the line.
Fascinating look inside and underneath the U.S. Capitol. Coming